Time for Overwatch League again. Oh, I had a week break. Oh boy. What's up, everybody? It's Reinforced back with another week of Power Rankings, and this time it's the fan edition, right? It's your Power Rankings that you people sent in on Twitter and submitted, so I'll be taking a look at those today. I hope you guys have a great week off. I've been enjoying some sunshine out here in LA, and I also have a very red nose because of that. I don't know if it shows anymore, but I got sunburned in the process. I hope you guys are having a great time, even though some of you are stuck in quarantine. Of course, there's more Overwatch to watch, and I hope you enjoy the runaway against Lunatic High show match, etc. Good times ahead. You might have noticed that I've actually gotten a bit of a haircut. I'm missing a bunch of hair, so I mean that's a bit different. Drop a comment down below what you think about my new haircut. Well, so I got this haircut, right, and then people asked me to join a punk rock band, so I accepted that. So I've been improving my guitar a little bit. Thank you so much for submitting all of your power rankings this week. I really appreciate that. Let's jump straight into it. And our first submission comes in from Onyxlon, so let's check that out, what they have to offer. So, okay, right, yeah. So, some upset Lano Spitfire fans last week. I can imagine, because I put them in the bottom of the Asia region. Of course, they did have a pretty close series against the Shanghai Dragons. Yeah, but I haven't really seen enough from them, and I like what Chengdu are doing, and they're improving. And then you have Hangzhou, who I think are a pretty stable team overall, even though they lost to Seoul, and now you've added Architect to that mix. But I get it, London. I get it, London fans. Get some more results, and you guys will be up there. Okay, thank you, Onyxlon Garlic Monk. We got Rob. We got Rob with a pretty nice ranking here. We got actually a pretty decent ranking, you know. They got some good stuff going on here. We got Shock at number 1. We got Philly at number 2. I mean, that's a bit controversial. You know, Florida beat them, and Florida's number 3. Don't think the Mayhem fans really agree with that one. In the Asia region, we have Seoul at number 1, despite losing a 7-map series against Shanghai in the finals. You know, that's a bit of a thunker for me. I gotta be honest here, Rob. Not entirely sure what you've done here. Boston at number 12, but you know, for the most part, it's a pretty good rankings. I think Dallas is number 4. You know, it's a bit controversial, but Decay really popped off, and they're showing some improvement. I don't think Dallas is number 4 necessarily, but you're entitled to your opinion, Rob. Some questionable choices here, but overall, it's a pretty decent ranking. Not sure I agree with Valiant number 6 either, but hey, Rob, you can't be perfect all the time. So thank you for sending in your power ranking this week, Rob. At number 3, let's jump in. Who do we got here? Admuk. Fine, I'll do it myself. Okay, well, yeah. Never mind. Let's jump into number 4. And here we have Jeremy. Personal opinion. Shanghai at number 1. Okay. Philly at number 2. Yeah, I mean, that's a choice. It's your opinion, personal opinion. Shock number 3, Mayhem number 4, New York number 5. I mean, so this guy has just mixed in all of the regions, which is fine because, you know, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. You also have some questionable choices here. Number 20, the Boston Uprising. Okay, I know there are some Boston Uprising fans watching this video, and you know, I've moved on from ranking Boston at number 20. I think you've improved. I think the addition of Punk was very good to the team, and it looks like they're a bit rejuvenated with his shot calling and aggressive play in games, so you gotta appreciate that. Jeremy, don't really know what to say about your ranking, but I think you've done the Boston Uprising fans dirty here in this ranking. So I know it's your personal opinion, and you can say whatever you want. Valiant at number 12 is certainly a bit questionable, given the fact that they made it so far in the main Melee tournament. But thank you, Jeremy, for submitting your rankings. Let's end on a 5th one. And this comes in from a name. I'm not even gonna bother pronouncing that. There's some emojis and stuff in there. This is actually a pretty good ranking. I'm actually kind of a bit of a fan of this. Okay, so we got the Fusion at number 1. Okay, that's a bit questionable. But Shock at number 2, Mayhem number 3, Valiant number 4. I mean, it seems like we're on the same page here. You know what I'm saying? Justice in the bottom of the NA rankings, and that's pretty justified. And then also, of course, in the middle you have Paris Reign Gladiators. I actually saw one of the biggest topics so far in the comments leading up to this video was actually the Atlanta Reign and how the Atlanta Reign were ranked. So I think the Atlanta Reign is a pretty interesting team right now, because they did have that series against the Florida Mayhem where they didn't look too good. But at the same time, that was the Florida Mayhem who got second, right? So I actually think that was a pretty decent performance. The way they also defeated the Toronto Defiant, very impressive in my opinion. So I think the Atlanta Reign are a good team, but I think some people are not just fans of the way they trash talked leading into that game against the Florida Mayhem, and then, you know, they got their booties kicked, so to speak. So the Atlanta Reign is one of the most controversial teams right now, I think. And I think that they have the talent to really succeed, but they have that kind of a loose vibe to them where they individually like to pop off and be a pretty decent team. Another team, as I mentioned before, Dallas Fuel. I think that Dallas Fuel is a pretty exciting prospect going into the second half of the season. They've now showcased like a bunch of good performances in a row. Not only Decay popping off, but also you have to keep in mind they had a series against the San Francisco Shock not too long ago before the main Melee tournament where they looked pretty decent. Notes Sigma was pretty good, and Krusty had an interview where he referenced some of their preparation leading into that match, and you know, I think they were favoring the Doomfist a bit, if I recall correctly. So, but regardless of that prep, I think the Dallas Fuel is an exciting team going into the second half of the season because they have so many good pieces to this team. Can they get those results, though? That is the big question. So that's my fifth and final ranking of the day. You know, thank you so much for everyone contributing. There were obviously a lot more rankings here that I didn't feature in this video, and I'd just like to say thank you so much for sending in your power rankings, even though they weren't featured. A lot of it actually was very similar to mine, so I appreciate that we're on the same page. And there were a few hiccups. I think some people rated London at number 4, and they wanted to see some teams a bit higher and some teams a bit lower, and that's justifiable. But I think that for the most part we actually were on the same page. So thank you so much, viewers, for most of the time agreeing with me. I'm glad we're on the same page. Great minds think alike, so that means you guys have great minds, because I have a great mind. Next week, of course, not going to really have any games anymore, so maybe we do an Ask Reinforce extravaganza and I can just answer a bunch of your questions. Of course, I know a lot of you have questions that you would like to have answered, maybe some analysis, maybe shedding some insight onto your favorite team, and I will be able to do that next week. So of course, we're just kind of hanging in there with these Power Rankings episodes, right? Because there aren't any games being played. If you guys have any questions, feel free to submit them on Twitter using the hashtag AskReinforce, tagging me, Reinforce, tagging Overwatch League, at Overwatch League. And maybe next week we'll do an Ask Reinforce extra long episode with all your questions, and I can try to answer them to my best of my abilities. So thank you again so much for submitting your power rankings this week. I really appreciate it. I think this was a fun little video. Hopefully you found it fun anyway. I don't know. Maybe my haircut is more fun than the video was. Who knows? Next week, Ask Reinforce. I'll see you guys then. Have a great week, everybody.